This week we're featuring the Little Rock mayoral candidates. Monday night we talked to Baker Curris. Last night Vincent Tolliver was in studio, and tonight Frank Scott Jr. steps into the spotlight. He's a Southwest Little Rock native, a banker, a pastor, and a former state highway commissioner. And I want to welcome you to Fox 16.
Thank you so much.
You know what? We're going to get right into this. You're 34 years old. What does a millennial bring to the table worthy of being the next mayor of Little Rock?
Well, I stand here before you today as someone that's just been blessed by grace and mercy that I'm here running for mayor of my hometown. The reason why I run for mayor from my hometown is because I want to unify our city. I want to secure our neighborhoods, help create a world-class educational system, and make certain that we engage the youth so we don't lose them to the streets, and make certain they reach their full potential.
You know, I was reading up on you a little bit. You said something that was interesting. You said deep-seated racial issues are in Little Rock that haven't been addressed because there hasn't been a leader who understands all aspects of the city. What does that mean? Well,
you find in a Frank Scott Jr. administration someone who wakes up every morning in Southwest Little Rock. I drive the Ranch Drive, and I see with my job as a banker at First Security Bank, I see all the disparities in our city. Our city is clearly at a crossroads right now. We have to move from being disconnected to connected. Two things that are really holding Little Rock back is diversity in the marketplace and educational achievement. I believe someone who's grown up here, who's benefited from being blessed to go to college and come back home and make certain that we reach our full potential, that I can bring that to the table as far as true vision, set some strategies, and execute.
You know, there is reported racial tension between the Black Police Officers Association and the Fraternal Order of Police. The chief of police has been unable to fix this problem. Do you think you can?
Well, I think having a leader that understands this city and what the city has been plagued with since for many years since I've been growing up here in this city, we have to make certain that we have intentional interactions because that's the only time that you'll really receive the true value of diversity.
Intentional interactions, what do you mean by that?
Intentional interactions is what I've learned as I've become more acquainted with others, brothers and sisters, a part of this city. You find a guy right here that I was 22 years old when the first time I went to Hillcrest. Only reason why, because I worked for Governor Mike Beebe, and I had some friends say, hey, let's go hang out after work. And they said, let's go to this place called Furneaux. I'm like, what is Furneaux? It's on Kavanaugh. What's Kavanaugh? Only time I went, I never went going past Park Plaza Mall, and guess what? They didn't either. And so that's just a microcosm of what's wrong with Little Rock, where we have this isolation of silos in our city, and we have to have intentional interactions. And many times we find those intentional interactions through sports, arts, entertainment, and education. I think that's something we have to do, is figure out how we have intentional policies to bring us all together moving forward.
Let's keep it with police right now. There is no residency requirement in Little Rock. So, you know, you can have a police officer who lives in any number of cities, Hot Springs, Benton, Bryant. Irma Hendricks, one of our city directors, she has pushed heavily to create a residency requirement. Do you think there should be one?
No, I don't think it's feasible right now in Little Rock to have a residency requirement. We just recently became fully staffed at 593 police officers. I think it's my job as the next mayor to make certain that people choose Little Rock. That's first and foremost. I don't want to plague that type of mandate on our current police force as we move forward.
Okay. You know, we here at Fox 16, we have this Victory Over Violence initiative. We're doing our best to cut down on crime that's happening in the city. But this week we got some good news. Homicides are down 34%, crime overall down 12%. Mayor Mark Stodela credits that to his Little Rock for Life program. What do you think of that program? And it's something that he would like to see the next mayor continue. Would you do that if you are elected mayor?
No, I think the Little Rock for Life program is a great start. If you go to frankscottjr.com, you'll see that I've thought very heavily about the deep-seated issues that we have with crime. Crime is not only a factual problem in Little Rock, it's also a perception problem. And so a part of our public safety agenda that we have at frankscottjr.com, it calls for increasing the police force from 593 police officers to 700, which will be an increase in our budget of about $10 million. But not only that, we want to make certain as we're increasing our police force that our police force is very reflective of our community and looks like our community, but not only that, understands cultural competency, de-escalation tactics, and implicit bias. But as we move forward from that, we want to make certain that there are career ladders for our police officers, and that we also focus on gun violence by having a community prosecutors program. But not only that, I think we have to have a special gun violence court to make certain that we get our worst offenders off the streets quick, fast, and in a hurry.
Okay. You've been asked this question quite a few times, I'm sure, about strong mayor. Do you feel as though we should move to a strong mayor form of government, or should we keep it as it is now with the city manager basically taking care of the administrative duties of the city?
Well, I'm not spending the last year and a half running for mayor to cut anybody's ribbon, so I want to make certain that that's very clear from this standpoint. I'm running for the current form of government that we have right now, where the mayor is a chief executive officer, and I will lead as being the chief executive officer. One of the things that I've had come up in our very myriads of frank discussions around the city is that many people see this as an issue. And if it is an issue, we have to make certain that it comes to the table as we're talking with our city board of directors and things of that nature, because there's only two ways that you can change the form of government. If we understand the history of Little Rock, we have to have a majority vote on the city board that votes to the people to give the people to change the form of government, or there can be a petition to change the form of government. And so one of the pushback that I bring on is that we have to make certain that it's not only the mayor that's going to vote for that, we have to get our other city board members to vote as well to change this form of government if that's something that we truly want to see. But I will say this.
But is that something you want to see?
I would love to be a strong mayor.
Okay, that's
yes.
the question.
Oh yes, oh yes.
Okay.
But I'm going to be a strong mayor whether I have the title or not.
Okay. How do you think you will work with Bruce Moore?
I think I can work very well with Bruce Moore.
Why do you think that?
Because I work well with many people, and so it's about building relationships and building trust and then executing on what you have to do. But it's not about Bruce Moore. It's about the city of Little Rock. And that's what I plan to do, because I will be elected by the city of Little Rock. And my mandate and accountability is with the people of Little Rock, not Bruce Moore, not the city board members, but the people of Little Rock who elect me as mayor. And so I have a mandate to lead. I have a mandate to make certain that I govern and move forward, to make certain that we unify this city, that we secure our neighborhoods, that we make certain that we focus on jobs growth, that we help create a world-class educational system, and again, engage our youth to make certain that we don't lose them to the streets and focus on their true potential right here in this city. It's not about Bruce Moore. It's not about the city directors. It's about the next mayor leading this city. And if you want to elect someone who's going to truly lead this city and change this city, I think I'm your guy.
Okay. Well, one of the things you also mentioned was Chief Growth Officer. We missed out on getting an Amazon here. It went to North Little Rock. The city pays the chamber somewhere in the neighborhood of $300,000 each year to represent us, but it's a regional chamber, so it's representing us and so many other cities. So do you think we should continue, or Little Rock, I should say, should continue paying that money to the chamber and kind of putting your eggs in that basket, or this chief growth officer that you talk about? I mean, what do you have in mind that might change that dynamic? Well,
again, Donna, I hope you will go to frankscottjr.com. We've thought very heavily about this issue as well. We have a jobs agenda, and that jobs agenda focuses on being a chief growth officer. What I think we have to do, the next mayor has to lead economic development. Here's some good stats to understand. In 2006, we had 96,703 jobs. In 2018, 96,003 jobs. What does that mean? Stagnant growth. We have to have a mayor that's going to lead on economic development while the chamber is a strategic partner. In our jobs agenda, we want to consolidate all economic development to the mayor and the city leadership. What does that look like? An economic development corporation. Guess who has an economic development corporation?
Who has that?
The city of North Little Rock, the city of Atlanta, the city of Dallas, city of Philadelphia, and Kansas City. And guess what? Their job growth rates are way better than ours. So what I want to do in a Scott administration is bring that all in-house, because if I'm going to be held accountable, I want to make certain I'm being very public, transparent on what we're doing to increase jobs in our city and focus on that. You can learn more about that at frankscottjr.com.
You keep
with our jobs
hammering
agenda.
that. You
but
keep
again,
hammering that.
You're going to elect someone who's truly going to be a leader in this city. I'm tired of my friends, family members, and loved ones who are choosing to leave Little Rock because Little Rock becomes a place of choice and circumstance. And they feel like they can't thrive here. They end up moving to Atlanta, Dallas, Memphis, all these other cities who are growing as it relates to economic development. It's time out for business as usual.
Okay. frankscottjr.com is where you're telling people to go.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right. I want to thank you so much. Good luck to you. Thanks for being here. And tomorrow night, we'll be talking with Warwick Sabin, another candidate for Little Rock Mayor. Thanks for joining us.